Hi friends, this is Chris with Josephine's Design. I am back with my, um, oh goodness, Webster's Pages 10, some Kahir size inserts, and then just a regular standard size insert. And then I also have my October sub box from DEK Design. So I wanted to share with you some things that have been going through my brain. And part of it is I want to use, go back to my TNs and use those. But my biggest, greatest struggle has been the smaller size. And this is the one I just started today for church. And it just is so small. And to me, I know a lot of people do memory keeping and things like that in this size, and I have as well. But I just didn't feel like it was big enough. So I have been watching and I have been sharing with you guys a gal here online. Her name is Lael, and I think it's Lael by Mail. And she uses a Kahir size, which is, I want to think it's 8 and a quarter by 5. And hold on, I can double check that just a second. Where's all my rulers? There they are. Okay, so to me, okay, so it is 5, and it is probably 8 and a quarter because I lose my measurement there. But to me, it just seems like a smarter idea. And the reason why is I've always done 12 by 12 scrapbooks. Always. I've taught it. I've used them. I've also done like 8 by 10 or 8.5 by 11s, whatever the sizes were. And Creative Members used to have one then. I think it was like 8 by 10, and that was my favorite size. 6 by 6, not enough space if you have anything tall. And then 12 by 12, it just takes so long to do a layout. And honestly, if you like playing in artsy things, you end up not really using enough of it. So, and I know that sounds weird. It does. But for me, I want to be able to not just journal and keep pictures, but also be able to like grab my little traveler's journal, take it with me, and write in it, when I'm out and about. Not that we're out and about that much at all, though I do think we're probably going to take some road trips, which are way overdue. And I'm not sure if we're going to go anywhere and stay or if we're just going to start venturing out like on day trips. But be in prayer for us. There is a lot going on, and I really can't go into it at all. But it has been probably one of the most difficult things in my life. And, we've gone through massive loss, and, goodness, when I was 4 years old, our house burnt down, and then they rebuilt it, and a hurricane knocked it down a year later. I mean, wow. And so right now, I just really need to focus on what God needs me to do, how He needs me to essentially get healthy. And a lot of things I take on, and any of you who've been there, that's true. From the care to my parents to taking care of everything post, taking care of trying to help siblings, trying to help my children, trying to help my spouse. And it's just been really a lot to take on. Plus, we had a wedding out of state and a baby born, our first grandchild. So God is really teaching me right now that I need to refocus and essentially get healthy. So one of the things that always brings me joy is to scrapbook. And I have literally printed out maybe a couple of hundred pictures on our little HP sprocket. Love the HP sprocket. I do not have permission from my children to show you pictures of them, but I decided what I can do is basically take like there's a heart, card, and lay it down and develop layouts without the pictures themselves. I can describe the pictures to you as I plan them out, and then I can share with you. And the reason why is, for me, a lot of scrapbooking isn't just memory keeping. It's a time to pray for my family. It's a time to focus on what God wants for us and all of that. So this is I think this was a Corey the Reset Girl TN insert, and it is a Kahir size. And so I just stumbled upon it. My sweet youngest went out and brought me my stack of TNs. And she was like, "You want the ones that are filled too?" And I said, "Yeah, bring it all." And I was really pleasantly pleased. How's that for alliteration? So anyways, and then I had ordered a couple of inserts. I also ordered a Caroline cover because I thought, oh, I'll get something kind of, they're not as expensive anymore, and I'll just get it. Well, it was completely bubbled, so that's going back. And I have another one coming from Lael's shop, but it may be for later. And but for right now, I decided I'm going to use this one that I have. It's an old Webster's Pages. I have inserts, and this will hold. This has 4 strings. So I kind of wanted to do a series of things. So I wanted to do one for Bible journaling, one for family memories, one for my own personal journaling, and then the 4th one I'm not sure yet. So, but I've done a lot of this in my Diane Reevely, but for memory keeping, I want bigger pages. So I want to save the Diane Reevely for more just, like art journaling, because they have that wonderful mixed media paper, which honestly, these do not have. They have a good paper, and I wish I could find more of these. And how that's going to work, and you know how this is. There's the strings, you just stick them in, and then you put them in the order you want them. And you can expand it, you can add more, but I think I'm going to keep it to 4, because if they get too bulky, all my Diane Reevely's are like literally that thick, literally. And for me, I just want it to be able to go and do. Now I have one of these inserts, and what I'm going to do is, that may be my 4th insert, but I'm going to put it in like that. And then I'm going to keep all my materials in it. And actually, I'm probably going to flip this. So, and I'll show you how I'm going to load this. Anyway, so I just all of a sudden just feel like I need to have a art bag ready to go. And this is one of the ways I want to go at it. Now, these are really hard to find, this particular size, but the Carpe Diem has this set, and they have one other with like your month, I think it's a calendar in there, or maybe it's just plain and then lined. I can't remember, but they're all, the 2 sets of 2 are different. So this one has lined, and then this one has graph, which I really prefer graph or dot or blank better, but seriously, I'm going to cover all this up, so it doesn't matter. Now, I love the saying Carpe Diem, which if you guys know your Latin, and maybe you don't even, but that's okay. It just means seize the day. And I think that that is a really good sentiment for this particular project. So, all right, now, Lael in her shop sells, and I'll link her shop below, she sells a Cahir size. They are covered in craft, which is totally fine by me. And you can cover them with your own scrapbook paper. You can do whatever you want. Now, part of one of the things I had even considered doing was making my own. And I had bought some craft paper off of Amazon. And this is just, it's not cardstock, it's craft. And I really love, Amy Tangerine has done a standard size with craft, and I really loved it. So if you can see, it's really thin. And I decided, you know what, the cheapest thing for me to do is make my own, because when you start buying these things, they get pricey. So I also have all kinds of scrapbook paper, but I also picked up some of the Nina White, I think this one is 24 pound. So it's basically regular paper. Hold on, let me show you. So, yeah. So I can cut mine down. I can do however I want to do it. I can round my corners. I can make my own, and I can cover it with scrap paper. So I thought maybe today we could do that together. And normally these are about, hold on, let me just bust that, about 16 pages. Now, another thing you can do is you can literally mix it. You can have craft and white. So, I mean, there's a lot of things like that that you can do. So I am just going to pull out a stack of pages. I will count 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Whoops, 7, 8, 9, sorry, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, and I'm going to put 15, 16. So that basically gives you, when you double that, it gives you just about 31 days. So, and actually I'm going to do 3 more, and that way we have more than 31 days. Okay, now one of the ends is damaged from how it came, so that's the end I'm going to cut off. So, all right, let me scooch this back out of the way, and then we will get started. And when I make one of these, I'll come back and show you guys. Sorry for the glare. I just realized when I looked in, it was glaring in your eyes. I'm so sorry. Okay, so if it's 8 1/4, I'm going to need 16 1/2. Ooh, is that right? No, 5. It would need to be 10. Oh, la, la, la. You mean I'm supposed to really be thinking? So I hope you guys are having a good day. We just finished with church online and it was so good. There is a church in San Antonio that we have loved for years. Besides our church. Our church is not online right now, and it's just a choice. That's all it is. It's a choice, and we totally understand and we support them, and yeah, I mean, we love them. So, but there is a church in San Antonio, First Baptist, that had a pastor that we loved, and we contemplated going back and forth and driving over there, and we ended up not, because our children were still young and we felt like they needed better connection, and to get to it is in downtown, and it's just First Baptist San Antonio, and the pastor there was Don Guthrie when we would go visit, and of course that's where I met Johnny Erickson Tata, and we got to go hear her speak, and then we went up and spoke to her afterwards when I could finally speak. I was so choked up, but literally, that pastor has meant a lot to us. When I was so sick after a surgery in 2009, a friend of mine, a Titus 2 woman in my life, said, "Have you listened to?" And you can watch him on the TV, because at that time we could get it on TV. We didn't have YouTube, or that I know of. And maybe we did, and I just didn't know of it. But anyways, to make a very long story short, then we stopped getting the San Antonio channels out here. So it made it so stinking difficult. And we just have antenna. So anyways, to make a long story short, my husband and I were talking about, we need to kind of switch gears and find something online that we can watch, that would be encouraging. So I don't think I want to score like 5 pieces at a time. So let's see how many I can score. So I'm just going to score at the 5-inch mark. You know what? That is not going to be good, I think. No, there's only 2. I think we're good. Anyway, so, and I'm going to turn this so I can see it, so please forgive me. There is a glare and I cannot see. So, and then that's all we're going to do. We're just going to fold them. And either you can staple or sew, and I will probably sew mine. But just to get through this portion, I won't put it together until later. But anyway, so we went today, and this particular pastor had gone through a horrible cancer and survived, and totally gave God the glory. It really changed in my opinion, his preaching style, and it was wonderful. But we all of a sudden couldn't get it on TV, of course. So God then led us to, our local church. Well, there was a church here locally that we wanted to be a part of, that our son was looking at going to a certain seminary, and he had to be in the, I did too many. Sorry, guys. Let me just do this. You had to be within the denomination to go to it. And, he ended up, let me redo this. I don't like how that turned out. It ended up, he ended up not going to that seminary. And who knows, maybe he will in the future, but we'll see. But anyway, so long story short, we had to find something more in the denomination. And then eventually our Messianic Jewish church also participates with that particular denomination. And so it made it really wonderful because we were able to see all the old pastors that we knew from San Antonio, and what a blessing that was. So anyways, but it was great. We went online today. My husband said, well, let's look at First Baptist San Antonio. And I said, great. Love Don Guthrie. Well, Don Guthrie has since retired, which, bless his heart, yay. And there was a slow transition with a new pastor. He came in as a co-pastor, and then clearly Dr. Guthrie stepped down. And so we watched today an old sermon by Don Guthrie. It was a Easter sermon. I got that wrong, guys. Hold on. It doesn't bother me if I can't get these right. I'm having to sit back, so I can't exactly see, and but I'm okay with it because this is the part that will be sewn anyway, so it'll be pretty hard to see that I boo-booed. Anyways, it was a, oh goodness, I did it the wrong way. It was an Easter service. So, and when I first saw it, I thought, really? That's the one we want to watch? Because I was thinking, why don't we watch a more current one? But it's the new pastor. And my husband said, well, why don't we watch, let me check this again. This one is not coming out right. Why don't we watch XYZ? And I said, okay. Well, anyways, to make a very long story short, it was really good. God knew what we needed and when we needed it, and all the things that have been going on. I think it was very poignant and very encouraging, especially to me. And yeah. So, and by the way, guys, when you fold these, if they're not perfect, let it go. You can always trim it if it bothers you. Sometimes it doesn't bother me because I do so much with junk journals, you know, and it never really bothers me. But anyways, it was such a good service. And for all of y'all that are in our Bible or hymnal journaling, it was a service of all hymns. So you know, I love that. I know you're supposed to fold the other way. I just find it really easy to fold it this way when you score. But anyways, so long story short, good morning, good services. I was in my one of my journaling Bibles that's also a coloring Bible, and I just sat there and colored during you know, things that we really wouldn't participate in, but I always hear better if I'm doing something with my hands anyways. Our son is the same way, very tactile learner. So anyways, to make a long story short, you know, I walked away with, you could see how many notes I had. I don't know how many pages of notes. And then also finished up a section in my coloring Bible that was, it was just kind of a neat process. And of course, I would never do that in church, ever, ever, ever. But being here, I was able to do that. And honestly, it helps me hear better. That's why I do the, now as you can see, it's going to feed out. So after I sew it in, I will trim that down. So, and you can just use your trimmer, or you can use an X-Acto knife and a cutting mat, whatever you like. So I think really quickly, I'm going to set up my cover, and I had this paper in mind. Isn't that gorgeous? So, and this is from Cartabella, and it is the Fall Break. This is the kit, Fall Break. So, all right. Anyways, I'm glad you're here with me. I hope that this encourages you. I hope that you will enjoy this because, you know, so many people get overwhelmed, or they can't find what they want, or they want it to be a certain way and it's not working out. I'm hoping you'll see that there's an alternative to it all. So, at least for me, there is. Okay, so I need 10. I need to go 8 1/4 here. I think that's right. Let me make sure. What did I do? I did that 7. Wonder why I did it that way. Hold on one second. I'm kind of having a, no, that's the right, I think, right height. Hold on one second. Oh, I was just talking away, and maybe I didn't cut it right, and I'm sure I didn't. Of course, after I folded it. So, yeah, I didn't cut it enough. So, let me think. This is, oh no, that may be right. This is 8 1/4. Yeah, that's right. Okay. And this one, let's see here. I'm hoping this is 8 1/4. I think it's a little long, but we'll go ahead and cut this one and then I'll figure that out. So I'm going to want this one 8 1/4. So I can do it like that. 8 1/4. There we go. Anyways, just a really good service, really good encouragement, and we will save that. So anyways, really did enjoy it, and I'm really thankful. Oh, my church is cut off. I should have looked at that. That's okay. I think we're good. All right. So, yes, and I will save that as well. And I'm not probably going to score that one. I don't think so. I think I can just fold it. What do y'all think? Yeah. So, and I'm probably going to pull that back and then measure what I need to do for this other one. So guys, if you don't have, you can just have a bone folder. If you don't have a scoring, I've forgotten what that one's called. Score Pal. If you don't have one, you can just create your own. It's not a big deal. And let me see how far off this is. And yes, it is way off. So probably need to take off, looks like X amount. So we'll just keep talking. But, so the service was really good. Even though it was Easter, it was really good. And it was such a weird thing to be in October watching an Easter service. But, I mean, I'm just thankful. You know, I'm just really thankful. And very happy that my husband suggested it. And we have not watched the new pastor. We found that the old pastor has a blog, and I'm just going to check that real quick in hopes that I have that correctly done. And I do. Okay. So anyways, I guess I should have done it that way. Yeah. And so I will just begin shaving those off later without that on it. So anyways, but we are just very thankful to have found that they are on YouTube. I mean, we knew they would be, but they have the old sermons as well as new Bible studies. But one of the things that was really great is they had a drive-up service in September. I was telling my husband, because I saw it after everybody kind of broke up. Everybody went their ways. I was telling him, I was like, that is amazing. And he was like, well, where would they hold that? And I said, I'm sure in the church parking lot. So anyways, I love these pastors. I have a sweet friend who calls me every week and is frustrated with churches meeting in person right now. And, I mean, she's autoimmune compromised. And honestly, I think what it is, she just feels left out. You know, she can't go. I'm not sure I got that correctly, and I didn't. She just feels she wants to participate with the church, but they're new to the church. And I get how she feels. I do. I totally understand. And, I just keep telling her, hang with it. If you're a member of the church now, then you can express your concern and say it in love and, ask for them to make options. And so I think I'm going to call her and tell her, if they're using a microphone, you can sit in your car and listen. So anyways, but I mean, they honestly, I think honestly, she just doesn't want to have to be different. She just wants everybody to do the same thing, which I understand again. So, and I'm not saying that this church is doing it every week. I only saw 1 week of it, and it was after a full day of fasting, church-wide. So really amazing testimony of a church that large doing something like that. And I grew up in a First. I did. That was my church I grew up with. And I know that some people have, ideas about a First that they don't, they struggle with. So there is that. And I think what I'm going to do is trying to decide. So it's going to be 5. Let me see if I can do anything this way. I don't think it's going to cut. Oh, it is. Huh. Look at that, guys. Good old creative memories. Okay, we're just going to pull away what's cut and go from there. So, anyways, but, you've got to do what works for you. And I would usually not do this till I sewed it, but I just wanted to see if it would work, and it does work. It's just going to take a long time to get that down. So I'm going to just do it a second more, and then I'm going to move on and go back to the pre-made. But anyway, so everybody needs to do what fits for them in their worship. And, you know, with COVID the way it is right now, everybody needs to understand it is just what it is right now. And as much as we don't want it to be, if you feel like you need to stay in and go to church online or whatever you think you need to do, then I would encourage you to do what it is that God's called you to do. I mean, that's all you can do, right? So another thing, you can try to cut it, but nah, I just think I'm going to do this later. I'll use an X-Acto knife. So another great way to do this is use a rotary, like a quilting rotary. It works. I know all the quilters are gasping. Don't use it on your fabric afterwards. Okay. Don't do that. Okay. All right. So let's get on. So that's basically how you make a quick TN. And seriously, I would probably be done in about 10 more minutes. I would cut out the rest of that if it was just me. And then I would just quickly, you know, poke my holes and sew it up and I'd be done. So I just thought I would start with, I really kind of want to do that one, but I think I'm going to start with this one. So what I'd like to do is do some basic page prep for a, what am I trying to say? For a photo album. Now, am I going to do every page? I am not. I am not going to do every page. I don't want to do every page. Sorry. I have to be honest. But I also want to get some things prepped, you know, get some paper cut, get it ready to go. And that way I'll be, you know, I'll just have stuff in the stash. Now I do have 2 SEIs that I had set back, so I am going to use those. So it's that one. I love that copper on it, and that, and then this one, and that. They don't scream. Oh, I've got one more. Sorry, they don't scream fall. I think this one is a Felicity Jane. I thought that's what that was. So I'm going to use these 3 extras on this particular kit, and yeah, and then I just gave myself a little bit, whatever I don't use here I may use in the oh goodness, the fall journal, if that makes, for the fall Bible journaling class. So, and remember, that's going to be in a composition notebook. So let's get busy. What do you say? So we know that these pages are 8.5 by 5, right? So what I want to cut my pages at is 8 by 4 3/4. So, well, let me see here. So I want to cut it at, sorry, it's been a long week. I gotta tell you. Okay, so I'm going to cut these at 8. Now, on the ones that it doesn't matter which direction you cut it, and I will save that for more journaling. Okay, so this is 8, and then I want this to be 4 3/4. And I'm going to double check that before I keep cutting. I think it's 8 and 4 3/4. So, since it's 8 1/4 by 5. All right, so then, I think, is that right? Yeah. It is. And then all I have to do is take my corner rounder, and I'm not sure, I think I'm going to start with that one, and hopefully that is a good one. Let's see here. Okay, if I can do it correctly. Silly me. Yeah, okay. And I think that works. Yep, okay. So, and then I'll cut that one again too. So I am just going to round that. And then that will be a page in my journal. And it can either be that one or it can be the green. So how easy peasy lemon squeezy is that? Now, this is a little doodad that does not have a trough. So I'm going to have to remember that. So again, I cut my pages at 8 and 4 3/4. So here we go. All right. And this is, I think this was my 8. I want to make sure before I do this. Yep, that was my 8. And now this needs to be 4 3/4. All right, there we go. And Yeah. So I'm just going to punch my holes. There it is. And so because when I do projects, I get really busy, I'm going to show you what I'm going to do to try to remember what I'm doing here. And I'm going to get me a little trash bucket next time. Since I'm using that one, I thought I had a permanent marker out here. Well, let's see. It's a calligraphy. Maybe if I just do this, I'll remember. And this is the 7mm. And of course, it's just a we are memory keepers punch. Okay, so there's that. So let's just keep cutting pages. What do you say? So, and I love, this is gorgeous. Look at that other side. This is a Felicity Jane, and she does gorgeous, gorgeous paper, of course. But, so, long story short, this is what I'm thinking for my own memory keeping and for my own journaling and for my, you know, my scripture writing, things like that. I mean, I'm just trying to find what works. And I got to get my drink back there, silly me, so it will fit. But, you know, I mean, this is just a journey for all of us. And while we're in this journey of COVID, my thought right now is, gosh, let's be productive and produce something, if that makes any sense. So, and for me right now, we're still working on tax stuff for the tax practice, which is fine. And I am feeling better. I've had a terrible migraine all week, and I appreciate everybody who sent me the sweetest notes. Even my sister sent me a note, and I know she doesn't follow the channel, so we were supposed to chat this week, and I just didn't feel well. And anyway, she left me the sweetest message. I've got to text her back today and make an appointment time because she works so much. We kind of have to set an appointment to talk to each other. But, okay, guys, this, I have to say, oops, sorry, I didn't mean to bump y'all, is my all-time favorite. I love this one. Anything with copper, rose gold, you know how I am. But, anyway, so I just wanted to get some of these set up for us or for me, and just encourage y'all while you have this time, if you are still sheltered in, let us do something together. We're going to do Bible journaling camp, but I'd love for us to also maybe do some scrapbooking, you know, if that's anything that might encourage you. I'm also going to be doing a COVID journal, and I'm not going to use something as specific as fall, as you can imagine. But I am feeling like I want to document that in light of our journey, you know. So if you are going to do a COVID journal with me, let me know, because I'll be putting videos up here online, and you are welcome to come along. There is a video that I share what my plan is, and then